What's up, guys? It is Tank from 96.9 The Eagle, Jacksonville's classic hits, and color me excited because I am here with one of my all-time favorite frontmen and one of the founders of the band Foreigner. He's coming to town with the band at the St. Augustine Amphitheater on the 17th. So please welcome Mr. Lou Gramm. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thanks.
You got a birthday coming up, man. You're going to be 50? 45?
Yeah, just around 45, yeah.
What does a big rock star do for a birthday party these days?
I just do it with my family. I don't put on a big to-do, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, when you get to be this age, you kind of keep it down low.
Sure. So we got the big show coming up April 17th at the St. Augustine Amphitheater. Don't know if you've ever been there. Absolutely stunning venue and incredible sound. What made you decide?
Is that outdoors or indoors?
It is outdoors, and the weather's gonna be
good.
Absolutely perfect. So,
can't wait.
What's great about it is like it's kind of set. It's almost like a state park area with like lots of lush trees and like palm trees and stuff, kind of set back in the middle of the back like that. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys are gonna love it. And I was just curious, like, because you getting back with the band to do some of these shows, what kind of like brought that about?
Well, it's the 50th anniversary of the band.
Wow.
Number one. This year is, you know.
That's crazy.
That seems crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mick had been playing with the band. This was his band, but he's very ill. He's in end stages of Alzheimer's.
Oh,
so
no.
I volunteered to pick up the flag and run with the band.
Now, before Foreigner started, you were in a band called Black Sheep, and then you guys got together and made a Foreigner. And the statistics on the band are absolutely crazy. Like, if you think about it, you know, I believe I read that 8 of your first 8 singles were top 20s. Is that right?
Yeah, that is even with the Beatles.
That's unbelievable. That's crazy. Of all those statistics,
yes, it is.
Like records sold, and you finally got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is crazy to me to think that it took that long. But of all the
20 years,
is there any statistic that stands out to you as like your favorite or your most impressive?
I'm not a statistic guy. I'm just happy where we're at. You know.
Oh, that's great.
I wish that Mick would have been well enough to be a part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremonies, you know. I was so bummed out about that. But after we played a song, we called him on stage. Did you see the ceremony?
I didn't get to see the ceremony. I will watch it after this, though.
Yeah, we called him. Rick Wills and Al Greenwood and I called Mick from the stage and told him that we made it into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and that we were incredibly proud of him, and thanks for all he's done for this group, you know. It was a very moving moment, and the crowd went crazy.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful moment. I mean, you guys started this, you were kids. Like, what were you, 25, 26 together, just growing up 25, on the road?
25, yeah. Well, Mick was a little older than me, but 25, yeah. It was a great first experience like that. I mean, Black Sheep was fun. But we had 2 albums out on Capitol Records. But when I joined this band that became Foreigner, I knew I just felt we were destined for some big things.
You know, it's wild because there are a few guys that you feel like kind of are unmistakable as far as like their voice and the front man of a band, and I put you right up there with that. You know what I mean? Foreigner. To me, is your sound, and the songwriting too is great because when you did your solo stuff, I think one of the most poignant lines I've ever heard in a song, period, is "Life is either cherry red or midnight blue." That's such a great line.
Thank you.
Did that really happen? Was that like real advice your dad gave you, or is that just a great line for a song?
Well, he really gave me that advice.
He's a band leader, right?
He was a band leader in the late 40s and early 50s. A big band with all the brass and everything. And people were telling him that his band would be better if he would only get a singer, like a girl singer. Uh-huh. So he auditioned 12 girls, and the one he got ended up being my mother.
Oh, wow.
Well, she wasn't my mother then, but
no, right, obviously. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
So you've been surrounded by music your whole life. That's kind of like.
I sure have. Yes, I have.
And what was the kind of turn that made you go towards rock and roll?
Well, I remember being in the back seat of my dad's 55 Chevy, and he'd have the radio on, and he'd be turning the dial for some jazz music, but he'd stop at other places to hear what was on there, and I heard Elvis, and I go, what the hell? What is that? You know? And eventually got to my radio and find that same station and started listening to that music myself. Because when my dad found Elvis, he goes, "Oh, not that stuff," and he turned the station right away.
But you found it, and you're like, "Yeah, that's the stuff right there."
That's the stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And then you go on, you form bands and stuff like that. I'm curious, like, being in the business so long, you are in print, on wax, and all this stuff. Are you the kind of person that looks back at all of that, or are you more of a forward-facing type of guy?
Well, I'm a forward-facing guy, but I mean, I've been doing this for well over 50 years now, and I know when I'm going to hang up the mic and enjoy the rest of my life. But I've still got a little bit left to go, so I like to look back every now and then too.
Speaking of still got some left to go, you've been releasing singles. You got stuff coming out. You got a brand new solo album, your first album in 35 years. It's called Released.
It's 35 years?
That's what it says. That's what it said on the internet. Now,
unbelievable.
Trust or not what you hear on the internet, that's what it said to me. So that's crazy to me. Like, imagine a career so expansive that you could still do all this stuff in between and have a 35-year gap in solo album releases. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Well, the solo albums were fun, and I took them very seriously. However, my focus was on Foreigner, and rightfully so.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you've left such a mark with Foreigner that it's crazy. What was the feeling like when you finally got the call about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Was that kind of a, wow, that's amazing, or, oh, finally?
We were eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was 20 years later that we finally got in.
That's the wildest thing to me.
I never could believe what was going on,
Like, what? How do you justify that? After, and not to denigrate anybody else that made it in, but when you look at some of the people that got in over you guys, it's like, what?
Mick and I were just trying to figure out if there was some small vendetta that somebody had against us and just kind of blackballed us, or we just couldn't figure out. We had the songs, we had the sales, we had everything. Our first 8 or 9 singles matched the Beatles in chart positions.
Yeah, that feels like to me more than enough to get you in, and then you couple it in with the sales and the cultural impact. Waiting for a girl like you. Do you ever sit there and think about all the dudes that sit in parking lots listening to that song crying after a breakup? You know what I mean? Like the culture, the cultural impact. I saw it. You know what I mean? Like my uncles, they loved your music and they gave me the love for your music. So watching them sitting in their rooms with their records playing, these tough guys sitting there breaking down, crying over a breakup, listening to that song. I mean, that's a cultural impact that you can't replicate.
That's right. It's not anything you can physically put together to make happen. That's got to come from the heart.
Absolutely. And it's not just that song. I mean, like the list goes on and on of all the hits, and not just hits, but like songs that moved people. People bought these albums because there are so many songs, and you could just. That's what I miss about albums, Lou, is like putting an album on and just letting it play, and you knew every song was going to be a banger.
It's a shame that somehow that's coming to an end.
Yeah, it's weird. The single game is really bizarre to me. But I'm
not even sure I understand it. But if you want to do well in this business, you need to understand it and play by their rules.
It seems like the rules constantly change, and a lot of times don't make sense.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
I feel that way about life sometimes, though, Lou. But I do want to remind everybody, great big show coming to the St. Augustine Amphitheater, April 17th, Foreigner with Lou Gramm, celebrating the 50th anniversary of this great band. You'll hear all the hits. Anything we should be on the lookout for at the show? Are you guys going to?
Yes. Well, just not for the show, but I want to say my new album, Released, came out a few days ago. It's 10 songs, and 9 of them are hard rock, so I'm just asking you to give it a listen. These are unreleased songs I pulled from the vault and completed. And if you catch me live without Foreigner this summer, I'll be with my band, Lou Gramm All Stars, playing some of my new songs from my new album, plus the Foreigner hits.
Anybody in the band that maybe we might recognize in the All Star band?
Tony Franklin on bass.
Okay.
You heard of Tony? You have heard of Tony, right? He was with the Firm.
Yeah. Great band.
Yep. Scott Gilman played with Foreigner in the early 90s, and Jeff Jacobs did too. And they're on sax and keyboards. And Alex Garcia, a great guitar player, really great guitar player, who played with Bad Bunny, is on lead guitar and on multiple songs on the album.
That's awesome, man. All right. Well, Lou, I can't thank you enough for coming on. Everybody remember to check out the new album from Lou Gramm. It's called Released. It's full of unreleased songs that he finished with some great musicians. And then also you can catch the Foreigner show at the AMP April 17th. So, Lou, thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us today. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Have a great day, okay?
I'll see you again, all right?
I hope so.
Bye-bye.
Bye.